The race for California governor is continuing to take shape, with elections and voter trust among the issues expected to play a major role this November. As always, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. Republican Steve Hilton is weighing in tonight on the issue just hours after President Trump announced that he will address the nation this week, with sources telling ABC News the president plans to detail new intelligence he received related to the 2020 election.
I think it's really important that we have trust in elections.
California gubernatorial candidate Steve Hilton sitting down with ABC 10 on Monday discussing the election process.
I think that there are things we need to do to improve the way elections work in California, not least how long it takes to get the result. And so I think there's lots of rules that we should change in California. The number one, the most important, is voter ID.
A ballot measure headed to California voters this November would require voters to provide identification when casting ballots, among other changes to the state's voting process. Supporters, including Steve Hilton, say the proposal would strengthen election security.
Voter ID is going to be on the ballot here in California, and I think that's a really important change we can make to reassure people that we're making sure that as many people vote as possible, but only people who are eligible should vote.
Opponents argue it could create barriers to voting. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Xavier Becerra had this to say last month about election reform.
I'm against voter suppression. I'm against anything that would try to limit a Californian's right to vote. I'm against something that it's a solution in search of a problem.
While sources tell ABC News President Trump will address the nation this week about new intelligence in the 2020 election, we also asked Hilton how he would respond to California voters who have concerns about claims of voter fraud in this election cycle.
We wanted to make sure that, not least to our supporters, that everything was fine and there's nothing to be concerned about. And we didn't see anything to be concerned about, to be honest. So as far as I've got total confidence in the elections that just happened. As I say, I think we can improve the process so we get a quicker result. But in terms of the integrity of the election, I think it's, I certainly haven't questioned what we've seen just now in California, and I'm looking forward to a very good election with a high turnout in November.
And I also asked Steve Hilton about the upcoming Republican National Convention. He says that he has been invited to attend, but his campaign is weighing whether he can fit it into his existing schedule, as he is focusing on campaigning here in California ahead of that November election.